All right, guys, what's up, and welcome back to Tactical Ashigarami TV. All right, and as per usual, don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, and all that good jazz. Drop your comments in the comment section and let me know what you guys think. As per usual with my videos, I just want to clear the air with this by saying that everything that you will see in this video is 100% an imitation. Nothing is real or deadly. We do not condone the use of deadly tools, deadly weapons, deadly items, or anything of that matter here on the channel. So, getting right into it, here we are with the platform that pretty much essentially built the channel. This is the GHK Glock 45 MOS. This is definitely the one you've been seeing online. This is super new. As you can see here, you have all of the trades on there from Umarex. You got the official Umarex license authorized sticker right here. This is in Cerakote as well, as you guys pretty much see. This is 100% Cerakoted and officially licensed by Glock. We've got all the trades there on the box, letting you know that this is an official licensed product, okay? Got everything there. Barcodes, all that good stuff, and all that good jazz. This has the GHK V2 system, which I've heard a lot about. So without further ado, let's crack open the box. All right. See what everybody's been focusing on. Okay. So here it is. So all right, that's cool. So this is the digital manual. So I guess you scan it. No manual in the box, right? So you pretty much scan that and get all your information. And yeah, wow. Okay, this feels pretty heavy. Okay, first glance, this is heavy. Yeah. Wow. This feels very different than my original Glock 45. Yeah, this is definitely different, man. GHK system. This feels kind of real. Okay. The magazine automatically is in there. This comes with the magazine in, right? So we're just gonna clear it just to make sure that it's safe for YouTube. There's a magazine. That's a GHK Gen 5 mag. As you can see there, no BBs are in the magazine, and this is brand new. Oh wow, that looks really solid. This is 100% clear, and that slide looks crispy. Whoa, that looks crispy. Yeah, this is looking real nice, man. I can't wait to see what this is about. Glock 45. So is there anything else in here? All right. We got a BB loader, and this looks like a regular BB loader that you get with, I guess, some VFC guns, right? But this isn't VFC, and that's pretty much it. So, man, first thoughts on the GHK Glock. So, from what I understand, the trigger that they used is real weight. Let's get this off. Put that somewhere else. Apparently a real weight trigger, so we're just gonna feel this. Okay. So we got a little bit of take up right here. I heard that it's heavy. And then once you get to the wall, see the squeeze? Yeah, that's heavy. Yeah, that's very heavy. That feels heavy, yeah. That feels very heavy. It definitely feels a really solid and a lot different from, my original Glock 45. So I actually happen to have my original Glock 45 with me right now. I was able to source it. So this is the VFC Umarex Glock 45. As you can see, has its scratches. This is the one I had for about 5 years. And this one is a little bit different. This is not MOS. and it's 100% clear. As you can see, you got the chamber packing, more of a skirmishing tool, and the trigger is really light on the VFC Umarex Glock 45. So the GHK Glock 45 definitely feels very different than the VFC Umarex. So once again, there's a trigger right there. Go to the wall. And that's the break. So it's really pronounced. You really have to really pull that trigger. Like the weight is it feels really like, wow. So different. Let's feel the reset. Okay, audible reset. And then wall. Yeah. And my understanding is that the recoil is supposed to be really good. So I'm really interested to see how this shoots and how it feels once you shoot it with the recoil, and how it handles that for sure. Internally, from what I understand, this thing is a beast. So we're not gonna go through internals in this video. I'm gonna probably go through internals in another video. But the internals in the lower frame are very different from the internals that you might have seen in the Umarex. So there's definitely a big difference here. Now, when I compare the frames on both of these Glock 45s, the frame on the VFC definitely feels a little bit different, even though they're both Gen 5s. These are both licensed Gen 5s. The texturing on the VFC, it almost feels like as if it feels more like a toy, you know, than more like something that you skirmish with, rather than something that you're going to actually use for training, right? Even though you can't really tell, you know, with the camera probably with a difference. This is more like a skirmishing toy. And as you can see, the slide is not Cerakoted at all. There's no Cerakote on this, so the you know, the material is very different. Whereas with something like this, you know, because it's Cerakote, I'd imagine that the slide on this will, hopefully it'll last. I don't think it'll scratch, but I guess time will tell, because I will be training with it, so we'll see if it scratches or not. But you know, a lot of people have questions about the GHK, right, and how good it is. I was always told that the quality on the Gen 3 GHKs that they had put out years ago, back when they were really popular, about a few years ago, the understanding was that the way they set up the trigger, everything was prioritized around realism. So that's definitely something that is a little bit different. As far as the sights are concerned, okay, here's a big difference. So with the VFC, as you can see, you have the 3-dot sight picture. So you have the, you know, the 2-dot apertures in the back. Then you have the front sight post. They're about the same. They're almost about the same height as well. Same height, same size. And the one on the GHK, you have the U-notch, which is similar to the one that you get, I think, on the Glock 19 Gen 3 Tokyo Model. So you get the U-notch. But regardless, I think what a lot of people do is once they run a Glock, even in Airsoft, over a long period of time, eventually they take the sights off and they decide to do something else. So with my actual Glock 19 that I had, the Tokyo Model, I still have it to this day. I actually got rid of these sights and I changed these sights out for some tritium glowing. They glow in the dark. They're like sort of like hybrid sights. So these sights are good, but I'd imagine at some point in time, a lot of people are going to want to take these off and probably go with something else that's a little bit better, in my opinion, probably. But you do have that option because you have the MOS plate. So now, guess what? We can now add our red dot, and you can get your suppressor high sights and maybe something like a Radiant Ramjet or whatever the case is. I'm thinking about what I might do with this. And basically do with it what I never did with the original Gen 5. So um right now, if you look on I forgot the website, but there's a few of them out there right now where you can literally go, and if you're interested in getting kits for the VFC Glock 45 Gen 5, you can find the Tyrant Tactical ones, I think, where you can swap out the slide, get the bronze coating slide where you can do build your Glock out and make it look like a copperhead. If you want to do that one, that kit is also available, and they also have the milled slides. Right. The problem is that basically either way you're looking at spending a significantly larger amount of money than what you would do by just essentially just upgrading to the GHK. Or yeah, I would say upgrading to the GHK because I can't really think of any other company right now that's offering a MOS version of the 45, but that might change in a few years because the platform is getting a lot more popular now because of the build. So instead of milling it, I know some people have milled their slides too as well. Milling it is expensive. Buying the mill slide is also really expensive, and getting the kit is also really expensive, even though it comes with the trigger and everything like that. So I kept mine. This one I've had it for about 5 years. Yeah, this has gone through hell. I have not done anything to it within that time. I think actually the only thing I did do was change the bucking. That was literally it. Everything was about the same. I used to run it a lot indoors mostly, so there was no reason to do like the inner barrel upgrade and stuff like that. And also remember, in Japan we're really using essentially just one type of gas, so you don't really have the luxury. I don't know if it's a luxury, but you can say the flexibility to run something like 12G type of gas, like a green gas or a CO2 or something. But however, my understanding is there are CO2 versions of this, and also the Gen 517 as well. So I guess it depends on preference, right? Essentially, where you would want to go in terms of how you'd want to use it. But just always remember that if you decide to go with a CO2 gun, right, at any given point in time, you might run into problems in the future because you're using a higher pressure gas. So whether your toy, your airsoft replica, whatever you want to call it, whether it comes out the box CO2 ready, or if you prepare it to run CO2, you're still going to run into that same problem, as to where more than likely, there's always that possibility where something can go wrong. So that's something to bear in mind. The good thing is that my understanding involving the GHK, which is a completely different beast, and even in hand it feels different. It feels so different. Like when I pick this up, I can feel the quality of the frame is different here. The quality of the slide is different. You can even hear the metal, the clack, right? On the GHK, listen to this, right? It's very smooth. So if you compare just like this press check right here, and you compare that to this is way more audible, right? You can hear the outer barrel. You can hear the slide. Here, that's very smooth, right? No wobble, okay? On the VFC, so a little bit of wobble in the front, a little bit of play. With the GHK, you can barely hear it. It's very tight. I feel a little bit, but it's pretty negligible on the GHK Glock 45. So the good thing about this is that essentially what you're getting is a system that is going to come right out of the box CO2 ready. So this is a green gas magazine. It's very different from the Umarex magazine, which I think I do have. Yes, I do. Very close by. So this one, yeah, as you can see, oh, look at that. This has gone through hell. The base plates on this, my understanding that I had before, I believe, yeah, because this is the Gen 5. These are the base plates were the same. I had swapped these base plates out a long time ago, and I got these extended ones here. They just look they look better on the Glock 45. I think when you run it. So I always skirmish with this one. But yes, even though these look, somewhat similar, there are differences. So, essentially this particular magazine may not even fit in the GHK. We should give it a try. Let's see. Yeah, look at that. Doesn't fit. And you don't want to slam that in. I wouldn't do it. Right? So you have to get GHK Umarex magazines. So now you know. VFC, GHK. Both Umarex, but when it comes to the magazines, right, they're entirely different. So let's slowly go through some of the differences between the VFC Glock 45 and the GHK Glock 45. But this is a GHK unboxing, right? So let's look at the frame. We're not going to take anything apart. So this is not going to be that kind of video. As you can see, just like a true Gen 5, you have the flared magwell with no finger grooves. This does not have a lanyard loop at the bottom. When I got this, it didn't really come with anything for the frame at all, to be honest with you. Neither did the 17 that I remembered. So there were no back straps, which is interesting. I think I could be wrong, but for anybody in the comment section, if you have the Tokyo Marui Gen 5 Glock 17, I know they're releasing the Glock 19 Gen 5 as of this recording relatively soon. If you came with back straps, I'm sorry, if your Glock 17 from Tokyo Marui came with with back straps, I'm saying with back straps, go ahead and just drop a comment in the comment section if you did receive back straps in your Glock with your Glock 17. So with the VFC, at the time when this came out, there were no Gen 5s really that were available outside of Umarex. The Glock 17 Gen 5 was available. I think the 19 was. There was like a CO2 version, I think. A CO2 and a gas blowback, regular green gas blowback version. But there weren't that many Gen 5s. When the Gen 5 came out for Umarex, Tokyo Marui had literally just released the Gen 4 around that time. So it's been about 5 years since that happened. So now they're finally putting out Gen 5 Glocks, believe it or not, after half a decade. So yeah, you're not gonna get any back straps with this. Not that you really need them, because it's a very sleek looking pistol. With the GHK, yeah. Wow, this feels so good in my hands, man. Like, it's so awesome. I can't wait to run this. It's just so different. It feels so different. Not that it's new, but you can just tell by the quality of the production. It just feels a little bit different. It feels a little bit sleeker. The Cerakote also does amazing justice, for the parts, especially the slide as well. And the trigger weight, oh my God, like, you guys, like, this is, like, I really have to put force. Look at that. I have to put force into really squeezing this. So this is going to really develop, I guess, my Glock, sensitivity. So getting used to this hammer and this reset, I think the internal hammer is going to be crazy. So originally, my training pistol was what was I running for my trainings? So I train a lot with CO2 indoors. In a lot of my videos that you guys watch, the training videos. So I was running the Nighthawk Covert Ops, God bless me, for a good number, about a few years, right? How the problem with 1911s is, you got to maintain them. Even in airsoft, you do have to maintain them very well. And, occasionally you run into broken parts. It's just what it is. Running, whether it's CO2, with metal, aluminum, basically the hammer essentially just broke. And it was just, it still works, but the hammer is in half. So it's sort of dangerous to use, if that makes sense. So I said to myself, okay, we're going to switch from the hammer fired to the striker fired. And in my opinion, when it comes to quality in terms of, the hammer fired, the striker fired option, look no further than the Glock, man. The Glock is proven. It is what it is. It's boring, but it's just like, it works. And this is the 45, man. This is the 45, the Glock 45, the Commander Glock, in my opinion. And with a lot of people, they'll say it. The Glock 45 is literally the best out of the lineup. Why? Because you look at the specs. You have the frame of a Glock 17 on the slide of a 19. So you have handling and concealability. The same thing that applied to the VFC and what made it so good a few years ago literally applies here. And now you have even more in terms of functionality and realism. So what you're definitely going to see is another video where we're going to break down the internals. So this has a completely revamped firing system, right? Which is really cool. I'm on some of these platforms that now I should have probably been on a few years ago. I would have had more of I would say, like, a standpoint to kind of compare, the differences, the apples and the oranges. But we're a little bit late. It is what it is. Does this mag have gas? It's like a little bit of gas. I'm not going to fire this in this video. But yeah, essentially with this, they're already on V2. That's crazy. V2 with GHK. So once again, I don't really have, anything to work off of in terms of the V1. I heard it's good, but the firing system that they put in this one now, from what my understanding is, you can actually source that same one and you can install it in your Glock 17s. The GHK ones. That's what I understand. I'm not sure about the other brands of Glocks out there. So yeah. And I will be definitely reviewing this in the indoor range, and I'm looking forward to that. So we got some CO2 magazines. We got some CO2 magazines on standby. Brand new CO2 magazines that we're going to be running in this. So looking forward to that. That should be fun. Got some brand spanking new CO2 mags. So yeah, there we go. So guys, that's pretty much it for the Glock 45 Gen 5 MOS from GHK and Umarex. This thing is looking like a beast. It's in Cerakote. It feels amazing, and I cannot wait to shoot this for you guys here on the channel. And you can expect some good training footage. Mainly training. I don't know about gameplay. I heard it's skirmishable, but I won't really know until I put it to the test. All right, guys. So take care and see you soon.